I stood outside and they walked by, hey, so. I said, okay, I got your nigga right here. And if one had to come near and while I'm there, I'd have beat him good.
As far as the energy, how would things kind of like change years later? Or would there be any changes when it came to Montgomery and the actual boycott in terms of race and relations?
I tell you this, it's Montgomery will always have a lot of stuff in here, hon, that you'll never get out. I don't care what they say or what they do. If there are people in here that you can walk in the place, they don't want to wait on you now. I went in to pay the water bill once, and I walked up to the counter, and the lady just looked at me and didn't say nothing. I asked her, "Are you sick today?" And she just looked at me and took my money. I said, "Well, if you're sick, you need to go home." I was always outspoken.
Yeah.
My mama couldn't do nothing but tell me to shut up, and I would not shut up.
So you're saying, like, would you say all these years later, like Montgomery, there's still like racism?
There's a plenty of racism in Montgomery. I still believe that.
How does that make you feel, given that, like,
It made me never got on a bus again. I swore I would never ride a bus again, and I never rode a bus again. And when the bus come right along out there and said, "You can ride," I said, "Nope, I don't want to ever get on one." I never been on another one from that day, 1955 in March.
as far as the climate has, you said there's racism. You still feel there's racism in Montgomery. What do you think needs to happen? Like, how do we get past racism? Is it just something that you've accepted?
I accept it. Yeah, I accept it. And I tell my children, be careful. I know you don't want to do this and do that, but always be careful. Do what you can to keep out of trouble. So my children are relatively easygoing because that's the way I taught them.
How about protesting? You know, that's big. You guys been marching and protesting for years, and
No, I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was at home, had to cook, wash, and iron, and all that stuff. I couldn't even march.
do you think it's effective? Do you think we should do that? Just giving someone that of your experiences?
I don't. I like to see people march if they believe in it, but I just don't do it because I couldn't do it then, and I've gotten too old to do it now.
As far as when you guys, as Claudette would have her moment, was there anybody in the movement that was reaching out to her, that was supporting her, that was trying to like push forward?
The people on King Hill, where we raised up, the community, King Hill is what we call it.
Okay.
They all was always rallied around her. My cousin, Tracy Larkin, got her name street up there now, Claudette Carver. He's the cause of that. My
Gotcha.
first cousin. See, when stuff get where I don't like it, I don't attend. I didn't attend.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of nuts, and I get off and say things. So my husband told me to stop going to these meetings. Because I was say stuff that I didn't like. And I'm like that now. And my children say, "Mama, this is a new day." I said, "I don't care what kind of day it is, it ain't right. A lot of stuff is not right."
91 years old, and we in 2023. Like, how do you think things have changed since your time coming up?
It has changed, I think, mostly with the people that you're being more educated now. More people being educated now. See, I didn't have any money. I finished high school and that was it for me. I wanted to go further, but I couldn't. So I just got my 5 senses what God gave me and went on with that. And it brought me out of the struggle. My husband and God brought me out of the struggle. After I married him, I had a good life after I married him.
Yeah. There's still a lot of things that's happening when it comes to race relations. Have you heard about the story of the woman that was shot by her neighbor through her door? Did you have any like thoughts around that? Just
Oh yeah, I hate it because I still say if they have in me, I've been trying to to do something back, but I would always try to do something, honey.
Yeah.
I'll get them off of me. I told the man, you can't tell me. No, don't watch me. You told me what to do over here, or you told me what to do there. And I look back, you're watching me. If you tell me what to do, I am not illiterate, Mr. Brown, and I'm going to do what you said. And I never had a problem from that day to this, not that man.
Now, we would eventually end up losing Rosa Parks. She would pass away.
Mm-hmm.
What, if you had the opportunity, she passed away in 2005, what would you have told her, you think, just looking back at it, to make things right? Would you have asked her to bring Claudette with her to the forefront, or you just...
No.
Yeah.
No, I never got into nothing else. I just stayed out of all of that. I didn't go to no more meetings or no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to work and helped my husband educated my 3 children. I worked every day, some days 2 and 3 jobs at one time.
Okay.
I went into catering.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I catered right out of my backyard, this big backyard back here. I had everything back there that you do catering with. And I made a lot of money right here in this neighborhood. Sweet potato pie, potato salad, homemade dressing, fried corn, macaroni and cheese. I make the best. I did all of that.
From another perspective, was the KKK relevant at this time?
The what?
The KKK, were they relevant in Montgomery?
Of course. They was all over Montgomery. The bus driver was a KKK.
Damn.
Rather than Howland Guard. And that's what always up there. Right about 10 minutes from here.
The bus driver that drove Claudette, or y'all, or that bus driver, or...
That particular bus driver he was in an organization known as the KKK. If he wasn't, he wouldn't be doing the thing that he did to us with driving that bus.
Wow. How did you...
we stayed off that bus
Mm-hmm.
for 182 days. I got it wrote down there.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have a job, and he was begging on the street. He didn't have a job.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. He went through something with that, honey.
So boycotts do kind of work.
Oh, yeah, it worked. We didn't ride the bus for nothing. I used to take the children to school at Lee High School in my neighborhood because their parents didn't have a car. And I was married to a man who bought me a car, and I took them over there to the school and picked them up. And I broke me a stick off my broom and put it in my car. I had a 55 Buick Special. And when my husband bought it, they went pick up my children.
Mm-hmm.
I stood outside, and they walked by, hey, nigga, so-and-so, nigga. I said, okay, I got your nigga right here. And if one had to come near and while I'm there, I'd have beat him good. I went through all that with my children right at Lee High School. That's where they finished high school. All 3 of them. Right there, them children right there.
How did your family teach you how to interact when you came into situations with the
Your
KKK?
mother would tell you, just don't say nothing. Don't do this. And if you can get around, don't do that. How you going to get around and they treating you like you going to say something? But you didn't have children to speak out like they do now.
Mm-hmm.
You had a very few to speak out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was the one that said something in a minute. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
What would end up happening to those KKK members, you think, that they... Because, eventually...
They still here. Right here in Montgomery, Alabama, as we speak. You always have them. They don't get out with the robes on anymore, but you got them, honey.
For the generation that's going to be watching this generation, what would you tell them? What message would you give them from your point of view?
Go to school. If you don't have clothes to wear, go. Just go to school and do what you can, because if you don't, things will really be rough on you. Just do what you have to do to get an education.